inspirational.
Good morning, Caleb. Good morning, Sammy.
Good morning, Cordell.
Good morning, Sammy.
Good morning, Caleb. Good morning, Cordell. Good morning, Junkhouse.
It's a psychobilly freakout!
Magical, excellent, fantastic.
That's how I describe this show. When people say, "Hey, Caleb, I heard you have a podcast," I say, "Yes, it is magical, excellent, fantastic." And then they search for that instead of Junk House, and it does not bring up the podcast. So I don't know if that's actually helping us like boost our numbers in any sort of way.
Yeah, well, it would help if you didn't explicitly say the name of our podcast is magical, excellent, fantastic.
I think,
Yeah.
but that is a great description of the title Junk House, is that it's a magical, fantastic, and excellent, name.
Podcast adventure.
Right.
And
And
podcast.
I get that you think that, right? You're like, hey, that's a magical, excellent name.
No. Hold
and
on,
a
Cordell.
magical, excellent, fantastic podcast.
Cordell, I need you to back up on that. It's not that I think that; it's that I know that.
Right. But when you say, hey, you should check out our podcast, it's magical, excellent, fantastic. And they're like, sick, what's its name? And you're like, oh, the name is also magical, excellent, fantastic. Like, let me tell you about it.
Yeah.
You gotta put the name and then describe it. Its name is Junk House, and it is magical, excellent, and fantastic.
But then people don't realize and get that I'm trying to put the emphasis that this show is magical, excellent, and fantastic.
No, Caleb, they do, buddy.
Hey, can we name this episode magical, excellent, fantastic so people can start searching that, and then it pops up and they're like, well, this one's called Junk House, but it's magical, excellent, fantastic, and my friend Caleb wouldn't lie to me.
Yeah, and then your name is on it, and they're like, this must be what Caleb was talking about in that weird roundabout, confusing manner that he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Caleb, you're going to be the one uploading this one, so.
Yeah, I have to do that.
Magical, excellent, fantastic.
Magically excellent, fantastic.
That's right. Caleb's I'm getting my balls on that. I'm dipping my toes in that water of editing.
I'm getting my balls on that court.
I'm getting my balls in that editing court.
I'm dipping my balls in that water. Yeah, hey, you don't have to dive head first when you listen to Junk House. You just dip your balls in, see how it feels.
Yeah, that's how you do.
But trust me,
get
the
up to your
water's
balls.
fine.
Hold on, my wife is asking me for ingredients for stuff, so let me just do that real quick.
Pepper.
Onions, bell peppers. Yeah, y'all want to guess what's next?
Onion powder.
No.
No, you're getting some sausage though.
Yeah, Cordell. Point to Cordell. That is.
You are also
on the
getting
list.
rice.
Making a gumbo.
Yeah, no, I'm not making gumbo. I'm making red beans and rice.
Oh wow, I was real on that though, because I was also thinking gumbo. I just led with the ingredients that are in every Cajun dish,
Yeah,
and then
the
you get to
easy
the
ones.
specifics.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, hey, Cordell, you got that right. Listen, Cajun dishes there's going to be a few things that we always have in them, and that's
It's
what.
rice, sausage, onions, bell peppers,
And love.
A lot of love.
or rage.
It
Yeah,
depends
depends.
on the
Depends on
dish.
what you're feeling.
Sometimes there are a few dishes I make that have to have rage. But yeah, no, it's funny. My family, we were actually texting this morning. The Library of Louisiana uploaded pictures of cookbooks going back to like the 1860s today of like old Cajun cookbooks. And so we were talking about like, we were looking through the recipes and we were like, so this is what we were eating as kids. These were actually like, this wasn't just stuff Like my dad was not just being like, yeah, I grew up eating squirrel and trying to like making us eat squirrel. He was just like, oh wait, no, he was actually making a thing that
Squirrel stew
that's
or
squirrel.
something that in the recipe book.
Pretty much. I mean, it had some French name in the old recipe book, but we were reading it and we were like, oh, yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's where Squirrel Girl comes from.
No.
Squirrel Girl would probably hate the fact that I've eaten squirrel more than once in my life. So,
Can I tell you something?
uh-huh.
I don't think she'd hate that at all. I think Squirrel Girl is actively pro-eating squirrel because as a master of squirrels, she also understands that they can overpopulate if they're not adequately like predated. She
hunting.
I do hate whenever like a naturalist character or a character very close to animals is portrayed as like vegetarian or vegan, because I feel like the closer and more in tune you are with nature, the more you should know the value and balance of consumption and the food chain. Like,
Yeah.
I think if anything, they should be like ethical consumers, not like actively vegetarian and vegan, which I don't know if Squirrel
Yeah.
Girl is, but like, I think anyone close to nature should understand the value of consuming animals.
Is Squirrel Girl a vegan?
Safe search
Well,
on.
yeah, honestly. Well, squirrels are vegetarian, right? So she might be vegetarian because the squirrels are.
That's the only acceptable reason for her to be vegetarian is because squirrels are, and she just loves them that much.
Well, she
But I bet
is a
Squirrel Girl is. I bet Squirrel Girl is eating vegetarian, like squirrels. Sorry.
She's eating vegetarians? Whoa.
Yes.
It seems like it's not. Okay, she is a vegetarian who is known to enjoy cheese and other dairy products as well as eggs.
It sounds like it's just because squirrels is what
Because
it's really
squirrels.
sounding like here.
Yeah.
Because like eggs.
Eggs.
Eggs, you know?
I would.
Eggs.
Squirrels lay eggs. People don't talk about that enough. What are you going to do with all the squirrel eggs?
Yeah, exactly.
I have started like throwing them at people.
The squirrel eggs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Good. I don't know what
I-
else you're supposed to do with them.
Yeah. I don't know. There's not
They
a
taste
Cajun dish
disgusting.
for that.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing you can do to make
Squirrel
that
egg
taste good.
stew is a very Cajun dish I just invented.
No, it's not.
They don't do stews. I'm an idiot.
Mm-mm.
They do
I should
rice.
have known. The moment it came out of my mouth, I was just going for like the scheme. Like it sounded good, but
You were-
Cajuns don't do
You were,
stews.
you were going for the laughs.
Yeah.
You were going.
sorry.
Going for
You
the
were.
goose,
You
for
were.
gaffes.
You were making fun of my culture and what we do. And I'll never forgive you for that. Go suck a butt.
Caleb does the most Cajun culture thing ever. Caleb is deeply Cajun in that when he's like teaching me about something, I don't know how much of his knowledge is actually correct and how much of it is just him like going on the fly and it works anyway. And I think that's deeply Cajun.
I have a pretty magical power of being able to bullshit my way through something and get it 100% correct.
It's Cajun.
That's it's a power me and our good friend Miranda have in common. I was thinking about this the other day. There was a y'all remember after my wife and I had a wedding shower in
My wife.
Cersei, and then we all went to go get Mexican food afterwards, right?
Yeah.
So we were all eating Mexican food. It was great, and I remember Samantha got like a shrimp quesadilla or shrimp nachos or something like that, but it was like
Shrimp something.
shrimp something. But it was like nachos de camarón or quesadilla de camarón, and without a moment's hesitation, Miranda said, "That's where the country Cameroon comes from. That's like the word that it comes from is just shrimp, because it's
She was
like a
just
giant
joking.
shrimp industry." And
She was
she was
just joking.
She was joking, But I remember Sammy being like, really? That's crazy. And pulling out our phone to Google it, and it was exactly right. It was like Cameroon's number one export was shrimp. And like all of this stuff. And then Miranda just sat there and she's like, I don't know. I just thought that was funny. So I said it, but I guess I'm right.
Yeah, but it like right for the wrong reasons because Cameroon is in like Africa. Like it's not going to have a Spanish name.
Yeah.
Cordell, how do you think colonization works?
Caleb, I'm going to look up Cameroon right now, and I swear if they were colonized by the Spanish, I'm going to be so mad.
I'm
They're
so
in
serious.
Central Africa.
Okay, so was like half of like that's the reason French is one of the most spoken languages in Africa, and why like Afrikaans is like a French and African blend.
Well, no, I understand this, but how often do you hear about the Spanish in Africa?
I mean,
Hey, Mormons are in Utah.
exactly.
You just gotta go somewhere.
Okay, it became a German colony in 1884, known as Cameroon. After World War I, it was divided between France and the
got a
UK.
Wow.
So you suck a butt, Caleb.
So I'm looking at Cameroon.
Your Cajun powers failed you today.
Shrimp?
Spanish.
I hardly know her. So I moved. I'm in mountain time now.
You're in Mountain Time.
My time zone feels worse with you gone.
I know, I'm so sorry. But last night we had Blazing Bird, which is a Nashville hot chicken place.
Ooh.
Oh my God. We were already talking about food, so you got me thinking about food. I still have half of the burrito downstairs. Oh my God.
Ooh, is that your lunch plan?
Yeah. A little early to drop the lunch plans, but
I mean that's okay. Listen, lunch plans are for any time. My lunch plan is 3 slices of leftover pepperoni pizza from a restaurant called Roper's.
I love Roper's. I don't know what my lunch plans are. We don't really have a lot of food in the house right now because we went on a trip, so we didn't like buy a bunch of food before we left. So we'll have to see what we have.
I have 2 potential topics.
Mm-hmm.
If you are interested, one is a movie I watched the other night that was balls to the wall awesome.
Hell yeah.
okay.
And the other is a little more of a like just personal conversation about like fatigue and burnout in the games we enjoy. So it's kind of whichever way y'all wanna go.
We could probably bofa. But what do you want to start with?
Wait.
What movie did you watch?
What's bofa?
Bovadis.
Cool.
Nuts.
So it's a new Netflix film. It is it's called Carry On.
Carry On These Nuts.
Ah, I got him.
Oh my God.
Fucking
That was
got
Joe.
you.
Yeah, so Joe Carry On stars in this film. No, it's starring Taron Egerton and
Oh, is it that? Okay, I've seen a trailer for this movie.
It's Jason Bateman and Taron Egerton. And basically Taron Egerton is playing his American accent is hilarious, by the way, but he's playing a like TSA agent who is like, and of course he failed out of the police academy test, and his girlfriend is like, hey, you should maybe consider trying for the police again, and he's like, no, I can't. We have a baby on the way, like I need to do TSA better. So he's like asking his boss, it's Christmas Eve, he's asking his boss for like a way to move up the ladder even though he's been slacking off at his job. And his boss is like, okay, I'll put you on the big fancy machine. And so he goes on the big fancy scan machine because his buddy's like, hey, I'll let him take my position for the day. I'll go do something else because it's Christmas Eve. And so it's like busiest day of the year in the airport. And someone's like, hey, this wasn't mine. And she hands him a little earpiece and he puts it in his ear because he gets a text saying, do it now. And it's Jason Bateman. playing a character. But Jason Bateman's character...
No, it's actually Jason Bateman.
Actually, Jason
It's like,
Bateman.
hey, it's me, Jason Bateman. I'm a terrorist.
It's me, Jason Bateman, from beloved show Arrested Development. I'm going to start texting you instructions on how to not get your wife shot.
It's me, the perfect straight man, comedic actor, and serious performer, Jason Bateman.
Perfect man, Jason Bateman.
I love Jason Bateman.
He's great.
A
hot.
lot.
He's
Jason
hot.
Bateman,
I'm not
come on
gonna
the
lie.
show.
Jason
Come
Bateman.
on the show, Jason Bateman. If I could talk to you,
do it.
Jason Bateman, for 5 minutes, that'd make my year, I think.
That made my
Anyway.
life.
Basically, this dude's like, hey, we know your girlfriend's in the airport. You weren't my first pick for this, but like, there's a guy who's going to come through. You need to let his bag pass and not say a word about it, or we kill your girlfriend.
Oh.
That's crazy.
And what follows is basically 2 hours of high intensity stress in an airport on the busiest day of the year. It is awesome. Like, Emily and I were so stressed watching this movie, but I was happy stressed and she was upset stressed. 'Cause it's just very intense. But it's like, it's Taron Egerton being like the only guy in the airport who knows about and is trying to fight back against a domestic terrorism threat.
Damn.
Have you
okay,
ever-
that's fun.
Intense.
Have you ever seen Paul Blart Mall Cop?
It's a lot like that.
I was about to say, it sounds a lot like Paul Blart Mall Cop. Because that is domestic terrorism, and people are
Correct.
not talking about that enough.
Which, you know what ripped off Paul Blart Mall Cop real bad?
Paul Blart Mall Cop 2?
No, Die Hard.
Yeah. 100%.
See, no, here's my actual theory about Paul Blart Mall Cop, and I need y'all to like stay with me on this, right?
Yeah, big fart mall man.
First, Paul Blart Mall Cop. I remember I watched that movie a lot for a while. When I was like
Okay.
early teens, you know, when you're like everything is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Paul Blart Mall Cop hit.
I've never seen
Some
it,
of the
actually.
scenes of that movie are straight up Die Hard.
Yes.
And the problem is that those are really good. And it's almost like that they had two different movies written where it's like, here's a movie about where it's surprising that Kevin James and his, big fat funny self are being surprisingly competent at doing a Die Hard. And then there's another movie that was written that was like, look at this fat piece of shit loser that we all hate and how funny he is because he's trying to do Die Hard. And both of those movies were forced into one movie. So
Yes.
my theory is that Paul Blart Mall Cop is about two different men that are both named Paul Blart and are both mall cops trapped in the same situation. Discuss. Please discuss my theory. I will not elaborate on it any further. Just please discuss it.
I think what you're describing isn't two dudes living the same movie. It is what I'm going to coin right now, the Adam Sandler effect, where you have surprisingly competent artists and performers who are bound and determined to not make quality things, who occasionally their artistic sensibilities leak out, like Adam Sandler. Like, you'll be watching 50 First Dates and you'll cry, and then Rob Schneider's in there being racist, and you just got to sit through that scene again. I think that's what you're describing is like, it's the Sandler effect, where occasionally they're putting out really high quality stuff, and you just got to sit through the rest of the crap to get there. But I don't think they do I think they do the crap on purpose and the good stuff on accident.
I will be real with you. I think you're onto something, but I don't like Adam Sandler as an actor, and I liked Paul Blart Mall Cop too.
Kevin James? No.
No, he's not in it. His wife is in the second one,
Right.
playing the wife of another guy.
Well, it's Kevin James and Adam Sandler are pretty affiliated.
They're best friends.
Yes.
Who do you think Adam Sandler picked to be the president in Pixels? Kevin James.
Oh man, Really? It's
Okay.
Kevin in that? Kevin's in that
Kevin
flick?
James. He's
Yes.
the president of the United States in the
Can
movie
I tell you
Pixel.
something crazy?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yesterday at work, right? Like I work at a facility where I'm with adults, right? And they can kind of like go and do stuff. So we had a lot of free time to kill on Sunday.
And they wanted to watch Paul Blart Mall Cop and Paul Blart Mall Cop 2?
No.
And 3?
No. But they were like, "Hey, we want to go into Little Rock and go to the Bill Clinton Museum."
Okay.
So we all drove up to Little Rock and spent $12 each to go into the Bill Clinton Museum, and it was 3 floors of the Clintons really trying to convince you they're awesome.
Oh my god.
And it's funny because everyone on this trip was really just there hoping there was anything at all in the museum that talked about Monica Lewinsky or Hillary's emails.
Oh my god.
That's all they wanted to see. That's all they were there for. I was looking for anything kind of interesting. The craziest part of this museum, they had a temporary exhibit about the presidency in film, about any films that depict a president. And so within this exhibit, they talk about Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. They talk about Mars attacks. And they talk about pixels.
Oh my god.
And I was like, why is this in the Bill Clinton Museum?
That makes it the best museum ever.
Yeah.
See, if it's
I
like-
got to look at a pixels exhibit. They had a little stuffed orange dude, Cubert.
Cubert.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cubert, who became a sexy lady.
What?
Oh.
Doesn't
forgot
that
about
happen?
that
Doesn't Cubert become a super hot lady at the end so that the guy who's like a creep can
I thought there was another character that
hold
got
on.
pulled out.
Hold on.
So
That was
late
a
okay,
pretty
here we go.
lady.
Here we go. From
Yeah, what does it
I
say
think-
about Cubert becoming a sexy? I mean, Cubert already was
Yeah.
a sexy lady.
I would.
Cubert was
Hey,
sexy.
Can you?
now I have to
Cordell,
look up
can you
pixels.
Google Cubert sexy lady, safe search off, and make sure to add NSFW. That stands
Cubert sexy lady, Google.
for yeah.
Lady Lisa is what keeps coming up. Oh, in
I'm-
Cubert Wiki, there is a character called Qdina.
What?
It's like Birdo.
I swear,
Okay.
if Cordell is correct, and the movie Pixels ends with Cubert becoming a conventionally attractive woman out of nowhere, I'm
Caleb?
going to I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it a little bit.
Caleb. It's
Don't-
worse.
Don't do it to me. Don't do. Oh, it's worse.
I'm gonna read
How
you.
did it get worse?
I'm gonna read you the last paragraph of the Wikipedia plot description.
Oh no.
The team is hailed as heroes, and Will negotiates a peace agreement with the aliens. Eddie apologizes to Brenner for cheating and acknowledges him as the best Donkey Kong player. Ludlow is devastated that Lisa is gone, so Cubert transforms its likeness to Lisa. Brenner and Violet start a romantic relationship while Eddie meets Serena Williams and Martha Stewart. The aliens restore everything on Earth. A year later, Ludlow and Lisa are married and have Cubert-like children. So, Cubert, the pixel critter made by aliens, becomes the likeness of a sexy blonde character that the aliens apparently were. And the one dude who's horny for game characters marries Cubert, the sexy blonde, and she gives birth to Cubert babies.
Oh no.
Have we considered that humans have gone too far,
Yes.
and we need to hit a reset button?
This is
and just go back to zero?
this
Just
is
start
like
over.
Do you think God stays in heaven? Because he's afraid of what he's created.
Do you think like Chris Columbus after this movie hit theaters was like do you think that was his Oppenheimer moment where he realized the damage he did?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm looking at the cast list of Pixels.
It's bad, man.
Do you think the person that first drew Sonic inflation porn knew the Oppenheimer effect that they had on the internet?
Do you think they knew how many times they made me horny?
Yes.
That's a joke. I need to say that one outright.
I just gotta say that out loud. I do not like inflation pornography.
So it's like one of my favorite things to think about is like because this happened, you know, the like
Yep.
the cause and effect of like 9/11 caused 50 Shades of Grey and all of that, you know, like how this led to this. And I'm wondering how many like steps away do we have to get from Pixels to like, I don't know. But here's the actual connection, right? I'm going to go back. Oppenheimer creates the atomic bomb.
Correct.
Okay.
The bombs are used in a horrific decision in Japan twice.
Correct.
Leading to essentially America domination over Japan for a little bit, which then influenced Japan to go from the government that it had to more of a democratic government, which then led in a boom in the 80s, like an economic boom in Japan, specifically in the electronics industries, leading to the birth of Nintendo and several other gaming studios. Then that led to video games becoming more popular both in Japan and in America. The birth of Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Mario, Sonic, all of this happens. J. Robert Oppenheimer caused Pixels, is what I'm trying to say. And I think we can't forgive him for that.
I do want to say Nintendo was founded in 1889.
Yes, but they did not shift to electronics until the 80s.
I just needed to say that they've been around for a
long time.
They were originally making like mahjong pieces and playing cards and stuff like that. They've always been a game company. But
when did the Challenger disaster happen?
Where are you going with this?
I'm pivoting to say the Challenger disaster caused Pixels.
What?
It happened January 28th, 1976. It exploded 73 seconds into its flight, and because they made the doors a little smaller than they were originally designed to be, Big Bird was not on the Challenger. Because he was supposed to be
Big
there.
Bird was, imagine like watching Big Bird blow up. He was there, but he was just watching.
Yeah, he was on the ground looking up. Sad.
Yeah, Big Bird got to watch the Challenger blow up from the ground.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Do you think Big Bird sabotaged it because he was mad that like they wouldn't?
No, don't put that on Big Bird.
I don't think anybody will talk about it, but I think so.
We can't
see.
Put that
Sammy
on
gets
Big
it.
Bird.
She's a real conspiracy head like me.
No.
Can I talk about Chris Columbus briefly?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he did like a lot of movies.
This man has a strong
America.
fall off. So he's been a director, producer, and writer. In the 80s, he wrote for Gremlins and The Goonies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Goonies.
He directed Adventures in Babysitting, which some people really adore. He directed Home Alone, Home Alone 2, Miss Doubtfire.
Bicentennial Man.
He directed Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets, and was the producer executive for those movies. And then in the 2000s, he wrote and produced Christmas with the Cranks.
Yep.
He produced and directed Rent. He did Percy Jackson and the Olympians and The Lightning Thief.
Did Night at the Museum.
He did Pixels.
Oh.
He did The Help.
Right. So that's a lot of his producer stuff. What I'm saying is when he directs, at least since the 2000s, not good things happen.
Oh, no.
I think it's like interesting because like I put Chris Columbus in the same camp that I do, and now I'm spacing on his name, but the guy that directed like Back to the Future and Forrest Gump.
Zimmer. No,
Robert Zimmerman. Yeah, Bob Zimmerman. I'm pretty sure.
Robert Zemeckis. I was
Zemeckis.
like, Zimmerman is not who
That's
we're
not
thinking
it.
of.
I was like,
Zemeckis.
that doesn't feel right.
Right.
But yeah,
I think Zimmerman
Robert
killed people.
It's like they did stuff that was really good, and then the year 2000 hit, and something happened, and it all fell apart.
Do you think they had like chips in their brains and Y2K fried them and made them bad at art?
You know what? Valid theory right there.
I knew someone at one of the jobs I had where Zemeckis was his favorite director of all time.
Wrong.
Oh.
It's a wrong opinion.
Like of all time, he made me watch Contact. And I was like, I'm sorry, man, but I don't why are we doing this?
Like Robert Zemeckis has some good movies, but I think that is a level that I don't get. I didn't think was possible. That if somebody could say Robert Zemeckis is my favorite director.
Yep. And now granted, if you love Back to the Future, Roger Rabbit, and Forrest Gump, I can kind of see it.
Yeah.
But when you follow it up with like
The Polar Express, Beowulf.
Welcome to Marwin.
Real Steel.
Okay, he did do Castaway. Like I can.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like
Death Becomes Her. Like I guess it does make sense.
He had a solid run again in the 80s
Until
and
the
90s.
year 2000, and then
2000, he did Castaway, lost his mojo, and then decided, Tom Hanks worked well for me. I'm gonna make a movie that's only Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is children. Tom Hanks is Santa.
What if Tom Hanks was all the butlers on the train and they loved hot chocolate?
They loved hot chocolate.
They love hot chocolate. And then he directed a groundbreaking movie this year. I don't know if y'all heard about this, but the movie Here, directed by Robert Zemeckis, starring Tom Hanks and Robin Wright. That's right, the two people we love from Forrest Gump the most, where it is a revolutionary idea of there is one camera and the camera doesn't move, and you are watching a couple's life play out throughout the movie. That's right, Robert Zemeckis reinvented the play, where we have a fixed perspective.
See, the thing is, I was about to say that's kind of a cool concept for a movie, and then you just
Caleb just
play
smashed.
again.
Well, honestly, when you think about old school movies, one of my favorite things about watching old films, and I really do need to do more of it. I need to just hop on Criterion or something, but watching old movies and seeing how they are just filmed as if they portray them like it's a play. They walk across, they have a fixed camera, they have a full set, they interact with it greatly. There is so much more theatricality to it in the blocking and the styling, and I love it. It feeds a part of my soul that modern movies don't do very often.
Can I'm gonna put y'all on a little tip. There is a wonderful service called Canopy. And if you have a library card, which if you don't, go get one, Canopy is free.
What?
So if you download it, and it has a bunch of classics, a bunch of documentaries, as well as almost every A24 film. So it is definitely worth getting. It's Canopy spelled with a K.
Oh, that's why.
So it's
Couldn't find
good.
it.
But also, I love classic movies a lot. And if I could throw some recommendations for some that I think really emphasize what Cordell was saying, but also show that we're still using the same practices that we did back then, and what they did then still works now. Steamboat Bill Jr. from Buster Keaton, Modern Times by Charlie Chaplin, and I would say The Kid is also another good one. It's another Charlie Chaplin movie. But Modern Times is far and away one of my favorite old classic movies ever. It is so good.
Okay. I mean, yeah, if you write those out, are they on Canopy?
Yeah.
I do want to say Canopy also has a lot of like books and stories for children, which is delightful.
Yeah, it's really cool. So something fun just to let y'all know about Modern Times, that movie specifically. It was made because Charlie Chaplin got really angry at movies that had sound. The Jazz Singer is like the first like famous movie that like used like talking and sound and dialogue instead of like a silent film. And Charlie Chaplin went to see it, and somebody like got him for a newspaper on the way out of seeing it, and he said I could make a movie with only gibberish and it would do better than that. And that's what happened. Is there is one scene where Charlie Chaplin sings, and it's complete gibberish.
I love it.
It's so good. I love it so much.
And it did better. It did better than.
I don't know if it actually did better, but I think it is a better movie than The Jazz Singer. I think at that point people were like, "Oh, well, movies can talk. Why am I watching silent ones?"
I mean, that's what we've done with every advancement. The moment a new thing comes around, and sometimes it makes sense and other times it doesn't. Like the whole of the 2000s didn't make sense, but it was just us playing with technology.
Yeah.
I think the modern equivalent of the very theatrically directed, like set walk across a set kind of movies, I think the modern equivalent are the like really stylized choreographed kind of films where it's like acknowledging that it is a movie and that there are things you can do with film that you can't do on stage, but blending that with the level of depth of blocking and pacing and style and like using film as a medium to add into the theatricality, if that makes sense.
Yeah, Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson, right.
Perfect example. Like, just even like Life Aquatic, there's whole scenes of like they're describing the ship, but it feels like it's a play because it's like a cutout of the ship and it shows each little room, but it's like on a stage and there's curtains and it's a play, but it's a movie.
Right. Or to take it in a very different direction, you get things like Baby Driver, which the cast is increasingly unfortunate. But like that movie is choreographed down to a T. Like that movie takes advantage of it being in film and makes everything meticulously planned out and done. And it's like I think that's the way to like really use film to its fullest potential, is to like play with the sound mixing and the scenes and the stuff behind you. Like I don't love the like pure naturalistic lean that we have right now to movies and stuff, because everything looks bland, everything looks dry. There's no color, there's no pop, there's no reason to watch outside of like, oh, it's realistic, and that just bothers me.
Well, it's also interesting when you think about how film as a art is kind of following these in a shorter time span, following the same progression that theater did.
Yeah.
And has. Because if you think about like the late 80s to 90s, do we know a lot of plays that were written and produced at that time? Not a lot of the newer ones at that time, because most of them were realistic and kind of boring, and they focused on being as real as it could be. Mm-hmm. And some of those are standout plays that we still talk about, but the majority of them we don't really discuss anymore, you know? Right. And yeah.
Oh, what's the... Sorry, I can't think of the writer. The dude who wrote that... Yeah, he wrote like a lawyer play where it was like a group of lawyers.
You talking about 12 Angry Men?
No, maybe not lawyers. They're financial dicks. Like, they're all just mean and angry and swear all the time. What is this dang movie?
Oh, are you talking about The Big Short?
No, this is
How to
gonna be
succeed in business without really trying.
No, it's
Is it a movie
American
or a
Psycho?
play?
They made a movie about it, but it was a play first, and it was by a pretty well known playwright. I can't freaking remember his name or.
I think it's George.
Angry financial dudes.
Unadulterated loathing.
Man, I don't.
It's got like a catchy kind of like I'm so mad.
10 Things I Hate About You.
No.
Are you thinking about She's the Man?
No.
She's in demand.
Are you sure? Hold it.
Most of the time, okay, let's move on from it. But like the point I was bringing up is it was very much like realism and natural and just people being people, but on stage now.
Rent.
But like, no. But that is kind of the trend in everything, right? Like theater started out there and crazy, and over time moved more natural, and then moved we're still very naturalistic, but we've got more stuff moving away from it again. And I think it's just like art did it, movies will do it, TV does it. Like it's just the cycle of things, but I don't like where we are now, especially with all the slop. Like things are just cranked out and not made.
Speaking of things that are moving away from the hypernaturalistic, there's a movie coming out in about a week that I am super excited for, and Olivia and I have already bought our movie tickets to go see this movie. And it is Robert Eggers' Nosferatu.
I'm so excited.
I thought you were going to say Sonic the Hedgehog 3, starring Keanu Reeves.
Listen, you know I'm so excited. I'm so excited for Sonic the Hedgehog 3 starring Keanu Reeves.
But Nosferatu looks baller.
Nosferatu looks so good.
Excited.
The second they said, hey, there's a scene with Willem Dafoe where we brought in 2,000 live rats, I said, I'm so here for this.
I'm so down for those rats.
Also, Cordell, would you possibly be thinking of the play Glengarry Glen Ross
yes!
by David Mamet?
Thank you. I hate that guy.
I'm not a fan of his writing. I'm a fan of his theatrical theory and acting theories,
I don't like his writing. His
writing's boring. I'm gonna be so real. Like,
thank you, Glengarry Glen Ross. I hated reading that. It was miserable. It's like he is the guy. He is like all of his stuff is just I'm gonna put people doing people things.
Yeah, that is kind of all David Mamet does. But oh man,
these people doing people things. It's crazy.
These people doing people things. It's like, honestly, I think it's worth reading Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yeah,
because it's kind of important in how theater evolved, but it sucks.
But it's maybe to be perfectly fair about it. It was made in 1984. Since Glengarry Glen Ross, there have been a whole lot of movies, plays, books, television shows just showcasing desperate and corrupt people in business doing desperate and corrupt things. And so maybe I'm tired of the style of story and that type of thing, and he kicked it off.
Yeah.
Because he got a Pulitzer Prize for Glengarry Glen Ross. So it could be a Matrix situation where the original's really good, but all the copycats made it kind of miserable.
I have a question for the chat.
Okay.
Olivia and I have been watching through the X-Men movies. And so far we watched X-Men and X2. Olivia's never seen them, so this is her first time watching them.
I said wow because Fielding decided to do the same thing recently. So
what?
Timed it up perfectly. That's crazy.
Hell yeah. I think we're going to watch Last Stand tonight.
Okay.
Olivia, we have not written our letterbox reviews yet, but Olivia told me already that X2 for her is a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
I think I agree.
5-star movie.
I love it.
And the way she put it was, she said, "Are there better movies? Yes. Are there better movies in the superhero genre? Yes. But that is the perfect sequel superhero movie."
Yeah, I agree. That's also the one that has the Wolverine leather suit that's like black and yellow that I had an action figure of growing up.
And so, like, my question is, are there other movies that, while they may not be the best in their categories, they are perfect in the fact that they are like the standard for which other movies can be judged on, you know, like
Sonic 2. Idris Elba as Knuckles, though.
I actually think Sonic the Hedgehog, that first one, is a gold standard for video game adaptations of movies. Honestly, I really think that's a good one.
Yeah. I was watching an interview earlier today, too, of Ben Schwartz talking about the new one, and he described the series as a new take on the superhero genre as well. And I was like, oh, I never thought about it like that, but I guess kinda.
I think so. I think it is.
Galaxy Quest.
As like a spoof?
No, just as like just a comedy. Like, I think if you're trying to do like self-referential, maybe I don't like spoof. I feel like homage,
parody.
Homage, parody, yeah.
I just, when I hear spoof, I think Scary Movie, and that is just so clearly not Galaxy Quest. But parody, I suppose, might be better. But like, if you're talking about genre parody, I feel like Galaxy Quest is where it is, because like that is a good, competent, enjoyable movie in its own right, even if you don't necessarily know all the jokes it's making. And it only gets better the more you understand what it's in conversation with.
For team up movies, the first Avengers movie, I think, is a gold standard.
Gold standard.
I'm trying to think of like other.
John Wick.
Yes. Oh
Honestly,
my gosh.
Most of those movies.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the
newest
right.
one. John Wick is like
action.
perfect. Yeah. Especially like
that's how you do murder.
The new action that's kind of like John Wick was revolutionary. I agree. And
100%.
I think it did set a new standard.
Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, for racing movies, honestly, I think that did set a vibe. Yeah.
Drift. What is drift?
What is drift?
Coraline.
Cordy's thinking. I can see Cordy thinking.
I'm trying to think of other genres like to talk about.
Also, Coraline for like spooky kids movies.
Spooky kids movie. Coraline / okay, controversial. I think Monster House is in steep competition with Coraline. They're kind of different. Coraline's not a comedy, so if we're doing comedy kids spooky, Monster House.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that is a 5-star movie, even if it is not the best movie. Some things are just like, well, I think what we're talking about is 5 stars because it did exactly what it set out to do and did it perfectly. Rather than being the best, it's exactly what it intended to be. 5 stars.
Yeah. Because that's what X2 does. It wraps up Logan's backstory. You know it now. You know what you need to know. And it sets new stuff into motion for the next movie.
Correct.
So it's a Phoenix Force.
Yes. Yep. That's what. Yeah. No,
Kills
it's been really. Yes. It's also got. Oh, fuck. What's his name? He plays Stryker.
Yeah. From
Brian.
Succession.
Yeah, Brian
Cox.
It's got Brian Cox.
He's
Points
really
in
good
favor.
as Stryker.
He really is. I was surprised how much I liked him as Stryker again.
Yeah. I think other movies in this category, if we're talking just horror, I really think it's The Conjuring. Like, for just if I'm talking to someone who has never seen a horror movie and isn't sure if they'll enjoy it, Conjuring is what I recommend to them. Because it's just scary enough. It hits all the right notes. It does what it wants to do, but it's not overly gory. It's not overly jump scares. It's not overly spooky. Like, I think Conjuring is a perfect entry-level scary movie to just test it out. Best scary movie? Not by a mile. But is it a really good horror just to get someone into it? If we want to call it just supernatural horror, sure. Like, just ghosts? Great. But, like, I think it's a 5-star movie. It's good.
Specifically, if you are looking for creature horror, where it's like there is a thing
that
is
different.
hunting, it's Halloween. I think Halloween is a perfect 5-star. For like there is a
like slasher.
The slasher, yeah. Sorry, slasher is more what I was thinking of. I think Halloween is kind of the perfect 5-star standard.
Agree.
I can see that. If we're talking like creature feature, it's The Thing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for the movies, I said excitedly. Little did I know that it was a feature. A creature feature. Featuring the creature. Those AI horror stories have been so funny on TikTok
They're
recently.
so good.
Okay, Doc, how does it look? Fuck you, said the fuck you guy who is my doctor's now.
No, not the doctors.
Is it gonna hurt? Yeah, you dumbass boy. Thanks, TikTok horror stories.
I'm trying to find a list.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Oh.
Great.
Oh, yeah, that's a 5-star movie. I just don't know what genre to call it.
Comic book adaptation?
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here is a list on Ranker of the best of bad 2-sentence horror stories. r/2-sentence horror specifically. So are we ready for me to read through some of these and we can just rank them ourselves?
Yeah.
Is this legal? I asked him. We will make it legal, the baby seller replied. I think that's a solid 8 for me. That's pretty good.
That's a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Cordell, how do you rank that one?
I'm gonna call that one a 7 out of 10.
Oh, dang! So
it's really good, but like that's not horror.
Here's another one. In the middle of the night, your dog stands on its hind legs and says, "No one will ever believe you." Then you see him grab a kitchen knife and run into your parents' room.
That's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
so bad.
I'll have to admit that's a 10 out of 10.
I'm also gonna give that a 10 out of 10. I love that. Here's another one. The victim was found with 108 Uno reverse cards on his corpse. Then the coroner pulled one out. He heard a ticking sound begin and noticed the card was marked reverse.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's what it said.
0 out of 10. That's too confusing.
Yeah.
Did the Uno reverse cards kill the person?
I think it said there's a corpse with a bunch of Uno reverse cards, and so when you pull the Uno reverse card, you're the one that dies.
Or is the corpse coming back to life?
Maybe you don't say what the cards are in the corpse, and then you reveal the pull out that it's a reverse, and then you die because you didn't know it was a Uno reverse card.
This is basically the plot of Autopsy of Jane Doe.
You look at the body and then you become the dead body and the body becomes alive?
Nah, they start finding stuff on a body and then they die.
Oh no.
That's a good horror movie. If you're looking for like nice low budget, just like low to the ground scary movie, Autopsy of Jane Doe. That's a good one.
And the rest of them are like the famous ones that we already like. Everyone's kind of heard, like, everyone's heard like the Knife Man and stuff.
Okay, we'll each of us make up our own real quick.
Oh, here's one last one. I'm sorry, I just found this. Why do my balls hurt? I thought to myself. I didn't know the big bad ball man came over and stole them.
That's one that we wrote.
Okay, Sammy, are you wanting us to make actually good 2-sentence horror or funny 2-sentence horror?
Okay. I mean, you could do either.
I think one person has to do the setup. Someone else has to do the punch.
Oh, okay. And we'll just go in a circle with that.
Yeah, I got one.
Who's gonna do this one?
I'll just say the first one, and then somebody decide. Oh no! I left my keys inside. I say, checking my pockets.
Okay, ding, ding, ding. Here's mine. Little did I know, Key Man ate my keys.
Okay. Ding, ding, ding. Here's mine. And the killer was outside.
I think Key Man wins it for this.
Dang it!
Yes!
You can just have any kind of something man and you win 2-sentence horror. It's rigged.
Yeah. All right, Cordell. Now it's your turn. You deliver the setup. Sammy and I will give our punchlines, and then you decide who did it.
I flipped the light switch, and the lights didn't turn on.
Ding, ding, ding. You go first, Sammy.
Ding, ding, ding. No lights for you, said the darkness man.
Here's mine. There he was, the key man, in the dark with my keys.
I think we need to make a new rule that we can't just do blank name, blank space
man. Okay. Okay. All right, so deliver it one more time. Okay.
I flipped the light switch, but the lights didn't come on.
Little did I know, my boner came on instead.
I can't believe you.
In this horror world, when you flip a light switch, you get a boner.
How is this bad? Can the boner go away until the lights are switches? Okay. Can you still do a cum or?
No, you just have boner.
No, you can't.
Full boner.
You can't cum?
Full boner.
What about when the lights are off?
Don't come.
Ever?
Do not come.
This is the horror world.
Caleb, give us your setup.
Okay. Ow, I said, feeling my pancreas is now gone.
Ding, ding, ding. Thanks for the money, said my surgeon.
Oh.
Ding, ding, ding. Little did I know, my pancreas was really going to kill me this time.
Was there the whole time.
Because the pancreas is the killer.
I like that. Okay. I think I'm going to give that one to Sammy. Because I like the idea of the surgeon is taking the pancreas for no reason at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Surgeon's going to win. Dang it.
He's going to sell it on the black market. On the pancreas market.
Feeling really inferior that I can't make funny 2-sentence horror.
Here's mine. Here's another one. Okay. Here's another setup. It was a beautiful night outside. Surely nothing could go wrong.
Meteor.
Dang it!
Dang it!
That's so good! Dang it! What's the point?
I just love Meteor.
Dang it!
Apocalypse.
Dang it!
Yeah, can we just have a shirt that says, on the front it says, I'm having the best day. Nothing can affect this. And on the back it's a meteor hitting the earth.
Obviously, Cordell, you give us a setup again, because I feel like we can do one more before
I go heat up that burrito.
Yeah.
I only had 1 sentence left to save my life.
Too bad this one didn't do it.
Ding, ding, ding. Da ba dee ba bee da bo doo bee da bee dee bo.
God damn it!
Dang!
And I died.
I feel like I would have been like, that was the sentence. Like,
yeah.
because like I would be like, oh, I only had 1 sentence left to save my life, and then the second sentence is like, that was the sentence.
Oh, that.
Fine. Yeah, that's okay.
I'm really bad at this.
I got one more.
Okay.
I was terrified that I didn't thank the amazing artist.
The Reverend Horton Heat killed me.
There we go.
But doctor, don't you know, I am the Reverend Horton Heat. And I smoke them if I do got them, and psychobillies do freak out.
And we also have a TikTok and a Twitter at Junkhouse Pod. If you like this episode, you can rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify and wherever you get it as well. That's my horror story.
My horror story is that I checked the emails and Google was gone.
Oh no.
I'm really, really not good at these. Yeah, if you want to email us, do it at junkhousemaiilbox@gmail.com. Send us a sentence and let us make it scary.
Or just send us your favorite 2-sentence horrors, and we'll read them out. And we'll make them into a whole movie.
Send us a 3-sentence horror.
Send us an 8-sentence horror.
Okay, honestly, if people started sending us just like scary stories to read, I'd do that.
It'd be fun. But just like we say every single week,
these girls are crazy frogs. Bum 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 ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum 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 ba dum ba dum ba dum.
Bing bang.
It's a psychobilly freakout.